do you consent to having this interview published or submitted to the university as part of my research and publicly on my social media like YouTube channels at the rate Pradeep Maduri in the future?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've been in Australia for about 8 years now. I'm originally from India, from Bangalore. I was born and raised in a defense family. So a lot of it would be more of multicultural and exposure to different cultures within India as well. And I was quite fortunate enough that my family had exposure to different cultures as well, which in turn exposed me to different cultures and practices and traditions. I must also say that I come from many other Indian families, from a very fairly large family, and each of them had different passions and interests and creativity. I'm a model, a part-time model, I would say, an actor. I have a full-time job. I'm into IT, into customer success and renewals. 25 years of experience in business development, sales, and customer success. So that's my main profession. So my dad being an artist, he was also a teacher in the central school, but having said that, he was an artist. So we as children, my sister and I, got exposed to painting, dance, and various other cultural activities as well at home. And also, in addition to that, what sports was an integral part of our growing up at school and offline as well. So that got me into a lot of other cultural activities as I grew up. And one of it that I continue to carry, some of them I would say I continue to carry is art, painting. I run classes and teach kids on DIY crafts. That's a part of that was the passion and interest to be in front of the camera. So it was both the runway model as well as to be in acting. So after I moved to Sydney, I've done a couple of movies, and 2 of them been screened recently in Australia as well. Everybody is gifted with a talent, and some of them with many talents. So when you do passion, and again, because I talk a lot about mental health and self-care, I think passion is something drives and makes you feel content that you have achieved something. And that's the way you can, not just upskill yourself, but upskill people around you as well. And passion is, again, a path wherein you can educate many others around you. So for me, passion and following that is extremely critical for oneself, for one's self-care, as well as mental health. So that's how I would put that across to you. It's all about, and I guess all of us learn through the journey, right? It's all about you having a dedicated time for each of this. If it's 9 to 5 is a job, then you are completely focused there. And then you block time to do each of your roles. Now, once you're back home, you're spending that time with the kids, and then it's completely off your phone. Now, it's not that I'm saying that I've done that from day one. I've just learned through the process and learned from others as well. Initially, when I started, like way back in India, it would be like, oh, there's too much to handle, maybe too much to shuttle, and you initially feel it's fine. You are continuing and doing it very well, but at some point, it could drain you. So being organized, structured, and also understanding what that exact goal of yours is, what's that passion, and prioritizing it is extremely important. As long as you prioritize, as long as you seek help when that is required for support, and you block time for each of these activities, it can be balanced. There have been many times there have been conflicts in terms of the schedule. Again, it goes back to what's the priority. A full-time job is the priority, right? And then when it comes that there is an acting schedule that's coming up that time, I think it's all about being transparent and working out with that team if there's a conflict. And I'm sure each one of us live in a system wherein we understand what's priority for others, and there's an unavoidable situation, then the team would work through that. So for me, again, I've been fortunate enough that when there has been a conflict, I've been able to communicate that, and I'm very transparent in communicating that there is a conflict, so we work it out. So that way it's been pretty easy, but main is you need to understand the priorities, and 2, being transparent and talking it out. And the team will work through that. In terms of emotional, yeah, there have been times, for example, as I said, I used to, and I teach crafts for kids. Many a times I've wanted to take that as a full-fledged, activity. I've thought of, if I have to probably move from a mainstream job, start that full-fledged, and also few other aspects like acting. But at this moment, I have not taken that full-fledged. So again, it comes to the fact of, okay, what is the choice at the moment? It could be depending on various factors. It could be sometimes financial. It could also be maybe the time of the way how the economy is at the moment. I feel that probably it's not the right time to start this particular industry. So there are times when the whole health or taking care of yourself overshadows. Now I do keep my family in mind, my kids in mind, and then do my schedule, try to balance it out, their well-being, spending time with them, making sure that if there is an event or a fashion show on a Saturday, I'm there with them on a Sunday, and I balance it out. But yes, there have been times that I've overlooked my own health by constantly running, but the body tells you when you're tired, when you need that rest. And I have been able to identify that, take my, I could refresh myself and then go back to my schedule. And then you kind of again rework on planning it better. And that's why I said over the years I've tried to learn and do that. And I've been able to execute it. So it's about listening to my body and pause, and then I can recharge and go. So to answer your question, has it bothered me emotionally, mentally, or physically? I would say more of physical. And I've identified that. I pause and I try to rework on how I can do it better. It has definitely been positive. Now, the reason I say that it's in 2.5 years, modeling industry, acting, community work, and also achieving in each of them, like the Community Service Awards, people open to the concept of workshops that I'm doing on youth and men's mental health. My modeling industry, again, I started with the pageant, but I did a couple of runways, and now I also choreograph fashion shows. I do events. So it's actually progressed in a positive way. It's not just the community I belong to, I grew up with, but it's also the Australian and multicultural. So it's definitely been positive, and I think Australia as such is so multicultural and so open to the cultures and helping us explore our creativity and showcase it. So it's definitely been positive for me. I've done 3 movies, out of which 2 movies have been in the theaters in the recent past, like one in 2024, one this year as well. And that's again, it is in Hindi movie. Hindi and English mixed together by an Indian director, but it was still showcased here in the theaters. And we've had so many other cultures, not just the Indian community, watching that and trying and understanding that whole concept, which they can relate to now. So pretty much the culture is so open to adapt to those ideas and to adapt to us as an actor actually from a foreign country, but now we feel so home. I think it happens with most of the cultures as well. It could be about your whole physical appearance. When you're a model, you're meant to be, and you're taught that you got to be of a certain height, you got to have a certain figure, color, and structure. So that's the cultural thought that we generally have. But fortunately, many of us are breaking that thought process. A model does not have to be a 5'10". Yes, there are, particular projects or brands that would typically have those kind of requirements. But modeling industry is open now, fortunately, to all sizes and colors. So that is one barrier that I think I am looking at breaking, and in fact, it's already being worked on, and a lot of us are breaking that barrier. 2 is also to do with the age. When you're a mom, when you are 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, it's told that, oh, you can't do modeling, you shouldn't be acting and all of it. But thankfully, again, that's something we all are breaking that barrier. I see most of them in the industry are 40 plus. Their kids are in their 20s or still young, or whatever, but they're there. There are so many mums who have 2, 3, 5 kids and still are there. They're balancing out their career and their profession, a modeling profession. So those are the cultural background and thought process that we come from. I would not say not necessarily from just our culture, but globally that's the thing. But we are breaking those barriers. My mother-in-law would always say, it's completely okay to seek help if you're not feeling okay. Don't think that being a woman, you have to carry all the barrier, all the weight. You can ask for help. You can rest up. You can do what you want to relax rather than trying to carry the whole burden yourself. So that's something I have learned, and I must say that I really thank my husband. And it's very unlikely from the cultures many of us come from, wherein men are not allowed to do household chores or certain activities or taking care of kids. Now we're trying to normalize that again. So I've been fortunate enough that I've had a very, very supportive partner who helps me spend time with kids. I would not say take care of kids. I would say spend time with kids, quality time, while I'm away on a shoot or an event. So again, it's all about talking it out, asking for help so that he plans his weekends, he plans his evenings in such a way that those are the times when I'm away that he can, work towards helping me out. So that support system has been extremely important and great for me. Even while growing up, I grew up in a family when I was so used to men doing and supporting the women in the family with the chores. There have been so many collaborations that I have done, especially, as I said, I work with growing businesses, especially designers, in promoting their designs. And people have been so open to come and approach me, and also when I approach them to work with me. I work as an influencer for a couple of them as well. So I think we are fortunate that we are in a community. Let it be the council, the government, or people here have been open to accept ideas, work jointly together. Which is why I've been able to achieve what I do in the last 2.5 years. And I must say, a lot of them are so used to seeing me with my little one. There are most of the time I would carry my little one around. He's been with me since he's 13 months, my second child. And everybody has seen him in the community, my fashion shows, my events, and they're so cooperative. They also support me in just spending time with him while I actually need support. So for me, it's been extremely positive. I definitely want to do more in the acting and as well as commercial modeling. Apart from modeling and acting, the other interest that I have, as I mentioned, is youth and men's mental health that I work on. And I run a program in the name of Soul Sync Mind. That's what I'm working towards, how different aspects of life, like including creative arts, how it could impact the men's health, how it could impact the boys in early childhood. So that, of course, is one, and also creating awareness on the developmental issues that we as parents and community need to understand in children. There is a lot of competition, but competition's always there, which I believe is the one which drives me further to do more. So if you ask me in terms of challenges, yeah, there is a lot of competitions happening around, but it's also about, it helps me understand more on the USP, my USP, and how I can move and groom myself better. The dream of being in front of the camera, being on a runway, there's much more to achieve, right? There's a lot of other runways that I am focusing on, of being there. But it's also about learning, right? So if you ask me, what is it that I feel, is I feel content that I'm able to start that journey. I'm learning through that process. And yeah, it's been very nice. I would say there is no age bar. If you've had that passion and interest, and as I said before, there is no opportunity that's going to knock your door. you have to create your opportunities. You have to work towards it, and at the same time, do not stop yourself for thinking that, oh, I have kids now, probably I'll do it after a few years. No, if there is a passion, start it, and then it would take you through. Just start, and the journey will continue. But that taking that first step to start is the key. As long as you're able to start that up, then the journey will continue. But you need to work hard as well. You need to identify those opportunities, create those opportunities. So there's no age bar, there is nothing that stops. As long as you have a passion, just start, and then things will follow.